Wallahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda. I'm your host Jamil Rashid, and again I'm very happy to say we have with us again Sheikh Asim bin Luqman Al-Hakeem. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Jazakallah khair for being with us. Just let me remind you of our telephone numbers. Our contact code is 202-8555-248 and 249. Now the email address, I won't give it out to you because we're having some technical problems with our email, so please hold on with the emails and we'll notify you when it's okay again. Okay, Sheikh, if I can start with a question from the internet. The brother's asking about Salah. He says, where do we stand in the row? Now what he means by this, and I've cut the question short, is when I enter the mosque and there's a Jama'ah going on, where do I start? If the front row is full, the second row is full, where do I start? At the ends, or how do I go about it?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. The sunnah is for a Muslim to stand behind the Imam when praying in congregation with others. Of course, if he's praying on his own with another person, he should stand beside him. And it's a common error that or misconception that a lot of the Muslims would keep a gap between them and their Imam, in the sense that he should be like 20 centimeters ahead of them.
Slightly ahead of them.
Yes, they should be standing shoulder to shoulder. But if you're praying with others and you come, the sunnah is to have the Imam in the middle. And though the Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith that Allah the Almighty and the angels pray over the right side of the rows, this does not mean that we should start from the right till behind the Imam and leave the left side of the rows empty. Scholars say that if you come and both ends are equal, then it's preferable and recommendable for you to go to the right. But if it's imbalanced, the row itself was imbalanced, you should fill up the gap that makes it balanced as much as possible.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, leading from that, the second question is, how do we stand? Now he's got some questions here. Do we stand feet to feet? He says shoulder to shoulder. You just mentioned something about that, ankle to ankle, toe to toe. How do we go about standing next to our brother? And this is in Jama'ah Salah.
The sunnah is that you stand shoulder to shoulder, knee to knee, foot to foot, and toe to toe, and heel to heel. This is how the companion of the Prophet ﷺ described how they used to stand in a row. And he also elaborated by saying, if you do this, that on his time, he's mentioning his times. If you do this nowadays, people would, scatter around you, and they would not be close to you. It all depends on the love they had to each other. So the companions had so much love to each other to the extent that standing shoulder to shoulder in prayer, sticking their shoulder to the shoulder next to them, and the same thing with the feet, with the knees, with the heels. It was so, you cannot imagine this, because they were so tight together that they stood in prayer as the angels do. This is the sunnah. Having said that, a Muslim should always have wisdom whenever he does something. And you have to be wise in choosing those who stand next to you, in the sense that if you feel that the one next to you, the minute you stick your foot to his, is going away from you, then leave this sunnah. Do not follow him. It's very funny that in some masjids you find people starting prayer, spreading their feet so wide apart, and when the prayer is over you find gaps like half a meter left and half a meter to the right. And why is that? They start prayer intentionally so that if someone who is following the sunnah is next to them and he tries to stick his foot to his, he goes and narrowing the gap. And at the end of the salah, subhanallah, you find lots of gaps, and this is completely unacceptable. On your part, if you are following the sunnah and you sense and feel that the man next to you is not willing to stick his foot to yours, then do leave a very small gap. Don't touch him, don't stick your foot to his, but leave as minimal gap as possible without irritating him, because this is more important than the sunnah of sticking your foot to someone that does not want to.
Jazakallah Shaykh. Okay, we've got a question about shortening the salah. Can we shorten without combining, is the question.
The sunnah for a traveler is to shorten prayer. Combining the prayers is not only for travelers. It can also be done when you're residing. Combining the prayer is made as when it's needed for a Muslim. So if a person needs to combine prayer, and Allah knows the necessities, not anyone. If someone needs to combine prayers, even if he was a resident, he may do so. And the clearest example is in the case of rain. The sunnah, if it rains in a city and it's raining heavily, the sunnah is to combine Asr to Dhuhr at the time of Dhuhr, or to combine Isha to Maghrib at the time of Maghrib. So it has nothing to, it's not specifically for traveling. It can be for both. But shortening prayers is for traveling. And the sunnah that you pray each prayer in its time. Unless there is a necessity for you to combine, then you may have this permission from Allah.
Jazakallah Shaykh. Okay. We've got another question. Now this is something which is coming about now. So it's, well, it's supposed to be coming out now. Mawlud al-Nabi, the Prophet's birthday. May Allah have sent his peace and blessings upon him. Some clarification. How do we go about celebrating this, if this is something to be celebrated?
In Islam, the Prophet ﷺ, when he came to Medina, he found the people of Medina celebrating and playing and in a state of joy on one particular day. So he asked them, what is this date? And they told him that this is a day that we used to celebrate long time ago, and we celebrate this annually. So the Prophet ﷺ denied him from doing this, and he told them that we have only two feasts in Islam, and that is the feast of Al-Fitr and the feast of Adha. So it is not permissible to have an innovated celebration or feast. Have it been either even if it's celebrating the National Day, celebrating Mother's Day, Labor's Day, whatever day you can mention it, it's not permissible in Islam. Now going to Mawlid al-Nabi, the Prophet ﷺ's birthday. If you want to analyze this, to know if it's a sunnah or an innovation, first of all, people celebrate it on the 12th day of Rabi' al-Awwal. And the authentic opinion of scholars that the Prophet was born on the 9th of the 3rd month of the Islamic calendar. The consensus of all scholars that he died on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, or the 3rd month of the Islamic calendar, which means when you claim to be celebrating the birth of the Prophet ﷺ, you're actually celebrating his death. Second of all, you have to always have a pattern to follow to know if this is a sunnah or if it's an innovation. Anything that draws you closer to Allah Azza wa Jal has to have an evidence. You have to follow someone, that is the Quran, follow the sunnah, follow the companions, in order for you to be on the safe side. So, if you come to the Mawlid, the celebration of the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ, did the Prophet ﷺ celebrate his own Mawlid? The answer would be no. The only indication to his birthday was that he used to fast on Mondays. He never celebrated anything to do with the 3rd month of the year, on the 12th that is. And they asked him, why do you fast Mondays? So he told them that this is the day that I was born in, and this is the day that I was revealed in. Allah revealed the Quran on that day. So, if you wish to celebrate the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ, fast every Monday. The Prophet himself did not celebrate his birthday, nor did his companions, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. May Allah be pleased with them all. And no one doubt that they loved the Prophet ﷺ more than we did. The Prophet himself did not celebrate the birthday of his grandfather Abraham, or Jesus, or Moses, or any of the prophets of Allah, which indicates that it is a clear innovation. So whoever celebrates the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ, he either knows more than the Prophet, and this is blasphemous, because no one knows more than the Prophet ﷺ, or he is claiming that the Prophet knew that it is good to celebrate, but he did not inform his ummah. And again, he is accusing the Prophet ﷺ of betraying the message and not delivering all, and this is again an act of blasphemy. In short, celebrating the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ is an innovation, something that was fabricated not in the first 100 years or the second or the third. It was fabricated on the 4th century of Islam. So no one of the scholars ever approved of it or agreed to it.
So if somebody turns around and says this is not love of the Prophet, is this showing any, say, unjust love towards the Prophet ﷺ?
Well, this is a form of an escape, because people who celebrate the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ claim that there is a fabricated hadith, it's not authentic. They say that they say that this is a hadith, whoever celebrates the birthday or my birthday, then Allah will forgive his sins. So it's like the Christians. They do whatever they do, and then they celebrate on Christmas and do wrong things on Christmas and claim that by their belief in Jesus Christ, this erases all their sins. In Islam, likewise, those innovators claim that no matter what you do, if you come on the day of the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ, cry a little bit, say some poetry, and pretend that you are celebrating the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ, this shows your great love, and hence this will make all your sins forgiven. And this is completely wrong. If you love the Prophet ﷺ, you follow him in every single detail. Otherwise, you are claiming something and your actions are falsifying it.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we've got the first call of the day. Sister Aisha from Italy. Sister, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please. Okay, I think we may have lost Sister Aisha there, so please try to call us back. Just another reminder of our telephone number. Country code is 202-8555-248 and 249. Okay, Sheikh, I've got a question here from a brother. He says, am I allowed to leave my wife for over a 4-month period? Now, he says, if I keep in touch regularly via phone and the internet, is this allowed? He said he's heard something in Islam says that 4 months is the limit.
Actually, there was nothing told or instructed to us by the Prophet ﷺ regarding this issue. So the Prophet had never set a limit to the period of time a man can or is allowed to be away from his wife. Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, the second caliph, in some narrations had put 4 months or 6 months as the maximum. And the scholars say this depends on the need of both sides. So if there is an urge and strong need from one of the spouses to the other, and there is the fear of falling into sin because of this absence, then they have to be together. What is the period? It depends on their agreement. So if they agree and they can tolerate being away from each other for a year, this is acceptable.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we've got Brother Muhammad on the line from Oman. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have 2 questions. My first question is that if small girls who are not of puberty age, lower than puberty age, can we shake hand with them or not? And number 2 is that I am a finance teacher, and sometimes I have to teach that interest part or the determinants of interest. So should I teach that area or not? Okay.
Jazakallah khair. That's Brother Muhammad there from Oman. Okay, Sheikh, the first question there. What's the age limit? He says, can I shake the hand of a girl who's small, she hasn't reached puberty? Is that the limit, or is there any other conditions?
Well, it all depends on fitna. If a girl, it has nothing to do with the age. In some countries, you would find that a girl that is 11 or 12 years old, and she still looks like a kid and behaves like a kid, and she has not reached the age of puberty, she did not get her menses yet, and she looks like a child. In this case, it's okay to shake hands if there's a necessity to look at her, because it's not a place of desire of men. In other countries, you may find a girl that is 7 years old, but she is in a state that men look at her and may desire her. In this case, it becomes forbidden for you to look at or to shake hands with, unless it's for something of necessity.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we've got Brother Muhammad on the line from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
I have a quick question. This is regarding dress code for women. If the women are among her mahram, like brother and sister, father, is there a special dress code for them, or what's the ruling on this?
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah fi. That's Brother Muhammad there from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Okay, if we can take Muhammad from Oman's second question. He's a finance teacher. Sometimes he has to teach the concept of interest. He says, is he allowed to do this teaching?
Well, unfortunately, there are so many topics in our schools and universities that do not go with Islam. But in order for us to progress, if you have the intention of teaching these subjects with these topics, with the intention of having our finance and economy progress in an Islamic way, then I see that it's okay for you to do this, providing that you always warn your students about things that are not permissible. For example, if you teach them about complex interest rates, anyone who studies economy has to go through this. This is okay. Teach them how they do it, and always set examples to them that these institutions deal with riba. Interest is a major sin. Every single class, keep on brainwashing them, warning them from dealing with such transactions. I believe, inshallah, your work is okay.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we've got Brother Hassan with us from Nigeria. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda. Again, please give me a question.
Yeah, Sheikh, I wanted to ask the status of celebrating my birthday or the birthday of my children. Is that Islamic?
Okay.
His what?
Birthday.
Okay.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. That's Brother Hassan there from Nigeria. Okay. Sheikh, if we can take Muhammad from Saudi's question. A dress code for a woman when she's with her mahram, that's her brother, her father, uncles, is it different to a normal dress?
Well, what normally people wear is what is the thing that is accepted, in the sense that women don't wear in front of their brothers bikinis, for example. This is un-Islamic and this is unethical. No one with dignity and honor would do this. Maybe in some cultures they would think that this is okay. Islamically, it's not okay, because they have to cover, and this is the must in emergencies, they have to cover between the navel and the knees. This is for women. And when they are in front of their mahram, male relatives, that the father, the son, the brother, the uncles, they have to be dressed up in a manner that does not cause any fitna. And it should not exceed the limit, as some scholars put it, the limit of jewelry. So they may show the hair, of course, the ears, the neck, part of under the neck, but not the cleavage or the breasts. They should not show the back naked, and they should not show the upper shoulder. The arm is okay, the legs are okay, but below the knee. These are, and they should not wear clothes that are tight or see-through. And generally, the dress code should be followed in such areas, not because that we are afraid of something wrong that might happen, but to preserve women chaste and to have them feel shy and morally acceptable when they sit with the opposite sex, even if they were their mahram. But if they wear like their nightgowns or whatever, and it's see-through or it's too tight, and especially in these days where we have lots of fitna, and lots of temptation rising among the brothers and the sisters, then always prevention is the best cure.
And what about, say, with the same sex? I mean, some people don't automatically believe, especially sisters, that when they're with their own sex, they're allowed to dress like they do when they're with their husbands.
No, again, it's the same thing. Because even we have, unfortunately, homosexuality spreading worldwide. Alhamdulillah, the Muslims are far less in percentage and in practice because of their religion and their belief. But you can see it in the media, you can see it when you travel abroad. It's there and it's present. So such illness should be prevented from reaching the Muslim world by preserving the chaste of our females and males.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Okay, we've got brother Muhammad on the line from Jordan. We've got 3 Muhammads today. You're the third one, brother, live on Ask Huda, your question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I just want to ask, I'm traveling like every day, like about 100 kilometers to my office. So I stay like Luhar and Asr and Maghrib. Can I pray the Asr and Luhar and Asr together and Maghrib and Isha together?
Okay.
My second question is, there is any salah called like Salatul Shukran or Shukr, like thanking Allah, any like Sunnah? Thank you.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. That's brother Muhammad there from Jordan. Brother Hussein from Nigeria. Now he asked a question about the status of celebrating birthdays for his children, his own birthday. You answered part of that. It's a cultural problem really, because when you do live, especially in the West for example, and it's creeping into the East as well, birthdays are something, if you don't celebrate it, there's something wrong with you.
Okay. Brother, again, we as Muslims are denied from following the cultures of non-Muslims. So let's look at the origin of celebrating birthdays. If the companions of the Prophet ﷺ celebrated it, then it's okay for you to celebrate. But if they didn't, and unfortunately this is the case, then it's forbidden for us to imitate the non-Muslims in carrying these celebrations into our own life. Muslims have their identity. We have our own personality. We cannot imitate people. You can pinpoint us anywhere in the world. You can tell that this is a Muslim by the way he looks, by the clothes he's wearing. Not that he's a freak or he's a Martian from outer space. No, but because of his behavior, because of his dress code, and because of the things that he does not allow to corrupt and pollute his own civilization and culture. Therefore, birthdays are not acceptable in Islam, and this is the verdict of scholars of Islam.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we have brother Abdullah with us from Nigeria. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda, your question please.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Alaikum salam. Yeah, I just want to talk about this with there's a lot of, when some people work, because we are from Nigerian, and some people work in the bank, and we just want to know that whether the money being paid to them as a salary is riba or not.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. That's brother Abdullah there from Nigeria. Jazakallah khair. Okay, brother Muhammad, he travels over 100 kilometers a day. Again, question: can he make jam? Can he join his salahs?
Well, if he is traveling, then he can join prayers and he can shorten them. But unfortunately for brother and those who are like him, who commute daily, it's not the distance. It's what they're actually doing. So even if you commute 150 kilometers to your work and you come back 150 kilometers, and this is the case in Europe, for example. Lots of the people live in the suburb of London and they commute by train, approximate distance. The scholars say that this is not considered to be traveling, because if someone calls you at your home and says, "Where's Sheikh Jamil?" they will say, "Well, he went to the office." No one would say he traveled to the office. So this is not considered as the customs of that city or that country to be traveling, and you are working. Therefore you have to pray each prayer on the designated time, and you have to pray it fully.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, the second question. He wants to know, is there any salah salah, shukr. So any thankful salah, is anything like this in Islam we have?
Well, not that I know of to be authentic.
Okay.
There is prostration of shukr and gratitude and being grateful to Allah Azza wa Jal. And the Prophet ﷺ did this. Whenever someone told him something that he was anticipating and he was happy to hear that, he would completely, immediately go and prostrate to Allah Azza wa Jal. Some books of fiqh do say that there is 2 rak'ahs for shukr, but I don't know any authentic opinion or any authentic hadith backing this up. Therefore, I cannot say that it is permissible.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Alright, Abdullah from Nigeria asked a question about working in bank, the salary from there. Is it considered halal, and on what kind of work in a bank as well, if possible?
I don't know, I couldn't hear the question well, but I thought he was asking about working in legitimate areas in the government or in companies, but receiving his salary from banks. Well, I'll answer both. If a person works in a bank and this bank deals with interest, with riba, then his salary is not halal. He should look for another job, because he is part of this institution that is fighting Allah and fighting the Prophet ﷺ by dealing in riba. Having said that, of course, no one tells you to resign today and then beg for the next year. No, you have time, but you have to work from today in spreading your resumes here and there, trying to locate a better job that it has permissible salary. Now, for those who work in the government as teachers and so on, it's okay for them to work there and to take their money from the banks, because they're not working for the banks. It's the government and it's the management that is paying them from these banks. So their work as it is permissible, because they're not helping the banks, they're helping the company or the government they're working for, and they're getting their money for the work they've offered. So inshallah their salaries are halal.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we have Sister Asima on the line from Nigeria. Sister, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Brother.
Okay, I do apologize for that. Brother Asima, your question, please.
Yeah, the Sheikh said that we are not supposed to celebrate birthdays because the Prophet ﷺ did not do that, and the Sahabas, none of them do that.
Yes.
Then is it permissible for one to mark that day as a form of remembering that day?
Okay.
Mr.
Jazakallah khair. That's Brother Isama there from Nigeria. Okay, we have Brother Muhammad also from Nigeria. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Okay, salamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Now, my question is to do with this issue of a wali for a lady who is getting married, especially a young lady, or first again to be married. Now, in my country, we have this problem where a lot of time parents appoint someone else to be the wali for this girl. But unfortunately, sometimes this wali, the girl has no access to him if she has a problem. So I want Imam, the Sheikh, to help us explain what are the duties of a wali, and who is supposed to be the best wali for a lady, for a girl getting married.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Okay, that's Brother Muhammad there from Nigeria. We're going to take a short break. We'll return inshallah in a couple of minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We'll talk about Huda, we'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home. We'll talk about Huda, we'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Ask Huda. Let me just remind you of our telephone numbers again. The country code is 202, then it's 8555 248 and 249. Okay, Sheikh. Brother Isima, okay, from Nigeria, asked about the birthday question again. So if it's not permissible to celebrate, and can we mark the day in any way?
Everybody marks his birthday, because wherever you travel, people tells you that the first thing they ask you, date of birth. So if he means marking it by marking it that when the occasion comes, they stand in a minute of silence, or they like dine somewhere, and they try to bend the rules a little bit. No, this is unacceptable. Marking that your birthdays, everybody does this. But it's okay to celebrate any other occasion with your child. You know, people think that, okay, birthdays are no more. This means that the full year that you have to depress your child. No, take him every week and to a restaurant or to a playground, buy him gifts, not on that particular date, but on any other date, and do not relate it to birthday. This is permissible, and it's quite preferable in Islam.
Jazakallah Shaykh. Okay, Sadiq is on the line from Nigeria. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please. Brother Sadiq, are you with us? Okay, I think we've lost Brother Sadiq there. Okay, we've got Sister Madiha from Egypt. Sister, you're live on Ask Huda. I hope you're there.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, I'd like to ask Sheikh Asim.
Okay.
When I play the Quran on a cassette or on TV, do I have to listen to it? Because, you know, for example, when I'm studying, I open the cassette and play the Quran, and I turn down the volume so that my voice is louder. I just play the Quran to give me peace or something like. But I don't listen. So is this haram yani or not?
Okay.
Thank you. Barakallahu feek, Sheikh Asim.
Okay, that's Sister Madiha from Egypt there, Sheikh. Okay, if we can go to Brother Muhammad's question from Nigeria. A wali. What constitutes a wali? What's the duties of a wali? And he's from Nigeria. He says we have some customs here where the parents actually appoint a wali. So some clarification for him there.
Well, first of all, the wali should be the father. And he should be sane. He should reach the age of puberty, of course. If he was not the father, if he was the son, he should reach the age of puberty. And he should be acceptable Islamically, in the sense that he does not show any sins appearing on him. He does not tell people that he fornicates or publicly drinks, or he's an acceptable Islamic wali. The norm is the father to be the wali. Now, if the father is not there, then his father takes over. That is the grandfather of the woman. If he's not there, then her son. If she doesn't have a son, then her brother from her father and mother side. If she doesn't have one, then her brother from her father's side. And then the uncles, and then the cousins, if those are not present. In the case of the brother's question, this normal practice is acceptable, but it's not normal. The father is the wali. The father has the right to give a power of authority to anyone he wishes. So if he says that my brother will take my place in marriage of my daughter, this is acceptable. If he says that my uncle, my cousin, my friend, this is acceptable. But having said that, the approval of the woman who's being married is essential. So even if he gives this power of authority to someone else, without the approval of the girl, the marriage cannot be conducted. Now, having said that, men and parents particularly should pay more attention to their daughters, because they are their loved ones, they are their honor, and it is Allah's given right to him to choose the best man for his daughter. But if the father is not paying any attention, and the girl is complaining from his choice as a wakil, as an agent on his behalf, or from his own choice of grooms, then she has all the right to go and override the wali by going to the Islamic judge, who looks into her case, and then if he's convinced, he appoints someone else from her side. So if the father was not a good Muslim, or was not a practicing Muslim, and he would not give her in marriage to suitable people. He always rejects those who are religious and pious. She has all the right, and she is recommended to do so, to go to the Islamic judge in her village or in her city and complain to him, and then the judge overrides the father by giving the right of being wali to her eldest brother or someone who is in that position.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we have Brother Nasrullah from Bahrain. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have two questions.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, yes, we can hear you loud and clearly.
Yeah, I have two questions. Number one is that some channels, they are showing the program of Holy Quran in the cartoon shape. Is it correct in true spirit of Islam? And the second question is of Surah Inshiqaq, verse 21. What is the meaning of this verse? Because I can't recite this because that is Sajda.
Okay.
But Sheikh maybe know what is the... Can you explain me please? Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah fiqh. That's Brother Nasrullah from Bahrain there. Okay, Sheikh. Sister Madiha from Egypt asked a question about listening to Quran as background. Sometimes you get an opportunity, you want to revise or study, and you put some Quran in the background. Are you allowed to listen to it like this, or even put the television on where they're playing the Quran like this?
I believe that if this is as the sister explained, that this is not permissible. The Quran has been revealed to our Prophet ﷺ to be listened to and to be recited. I believe that if you're driving or if you're working and you have the Quran in the background, but you are listening, maybe you get a call every now and then, maybe you do something and you're distracted every now and then, this is okay, because the majority of the time you are actually listening to the Quran. But if, as she explained, she turns the volume really down, so she just hears noises, but unable to recognize the surahs, unable to understand the verses of the Quran, I believe that this is a form of humiliating the Quran. And I would never ever like her to do something like this, because it's simulating music. What's the difference?
Music,
yes,
just
it's the same thing. So this is not permissible.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Okay, Brother Nasrullah from Bahrain says some Quran channels or some channels show parts of the Quran in a cartoon form. I think maybe they act out parts of the Quran. He said, is this allowed? Is this something in line with having the respect for the Quran?
To be able to judge something, you have to be able to imagine it. So I believe that if recitations of the Quran is being made on TV, and then it talks about clouds and talks about rain, and animation is there showing the clouds being formulating and rain falling, I think this is okay. But if he's talking about cartoons, about beings and live creatures, no, I think that this is completely unacceptable.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Okay, Sister Mahbooba from Jordan, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please, Sister.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I have two questions. One is about the recycling water. It is clean for the wudu. And the other one about shrimps. Some scholars said shrimp is macro. I don't know if it's right or not.
Okay. Shrimps as in prawn?
Yep. Yes, similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Jazakallah, Sister Mahbooba from Jordan. Okay, the second question from Brother Nasrullah. He says, Surah Inshiqaq, verse 21. He says, you don't want to recite it because he had a sajda in there, maybe you can even speak about that, but he wants to know the meaning of that verse if possible.
Well, whoever says, I don't know in the Quran, is always on the safe side. To me, I'm unable to imagine what is not clear to him. I wish that he recited the verse to us, then I would have maybe, if I had knowledge about it, I would have talked about it, but at the moment I'm unable to answer that question.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Okay, we have Sister Suhaib online with us. Sister, your question please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Brothers, I have two questions. The first question is, are we allowed to crack our fingers?
Okay.
And my second question is,
In prayer or normally cracking it?
normally.
Okay.
And my second question is, if the name Affan is allowed, and what is the meaning?
The name of?
Which?
The name Affan is allowed to use,
Affan?
or it's and can you tell the meaning?
Okay.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair there. Sister Mahbooba Sheikh from Jordan asked a question about recycled water. Is it clean to be used for wudu?
Scholars have had their meetings in Mecca, and they reached the conclusion that, and this is also the fatwa of the Supreme Council of Scholars in Saudi Arabia, they say that there are levels of recycling water, and the third level, where everything is completely transformed into clean, desalinated water that has no smell of najasa, of impurity, no taste and no color. And these are the most important characteristics to be observed. If these three are not present in that liquid and it looks like water, the consensus is that it's okay to perform wudu as it is water. But they have their reservations towards drinking from it. So it's okay to perform ablution, to perform total bath, as long as the smell, the color, or the taste had not been changed by an impurity.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Okay, we have Brother Sadiq back with us again from Nigeria. I hope you're there, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please, I want to ask, is it permissible for someone to be calling Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam name and be singing song for him with music?
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's Brother Sadiq there from Nigeria. Okay. Sister Sahib, she asked a question regarding cracking of fingers. Okay, is this allowed? And I think this is something like you asked, you clarified, is this in Salah or not?
Okay. If I do this, so I think this answers it.
Okay, what about if you do it knowingly that this is going to maybe lead to arthritis or something similar? Are you allowed to still perform this?
Well, this what was the advice of my parents and all parents. They always, whenever they see their children do this, they say, no, this is going to do this and do this. Well, if it's medically proven, then you're instructed not to do it. But there are no need to attach this. There's no need to attach this to Islam. It is not recommendable to do this while praying, because this is a sign of impoliteness with Allah. While praying, you're not allowed to crack your fingers. You're not allowed to have your fingers together. You're not allowed to look left, right. You're not allowed to spit while praying in the direction of the Qibla. All of these are etiquettes of prayer. But outside prayer, it's okay.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, I missed Sister Mahbooba's second question. So, her question's about shrimp. Is this allowed? She says some scholars say it's makruh, disliked.
Shrimps in Islam, as any other living creature.
I mean, what's the ruling when it comes to food of all types? How do we go about saying this is halal, this is not? What's the basic ruling?
All food is halal, with the exception of the things that the Prophet ﷺ told us not to eat. For example, it's forbidden for us to eat meat that is not slaughtered, animals that are not slaughtered. So if someone hits an animal on the head and it dies, or electrifies it, or suffocates it, this is a dead animal, it's a dead meat. We're not allowed to eat this. We're not allowed to eat a pork meat. We're not allowed to eat dogs. We're not allowed to eat lions, and so on. But anything else, it's permissible for us to eat, unless there is a special evidence from the Quran or from the Sunnah making that forbidden for us. So shrimps is something that we all enjoy eating, there's nothing wrong in eating it.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, Sister Suhaib, second question. Is the name Irfan?
Irfan?
Irfan, I do believe that was the name. Is it allowed as a name? And if it is, what's the meaning of that name?
Irfan is a name, and it means gratitude. So it's a form of being grateful for or to someone. So Irfan is the noun of gratitude, and it's a name. There's nothing wrong in it, and has no restrictions to calling people with that name.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, Brother Sadiq from Nigeria asked a question about some people go and they sing songs about the Prophet ﷺ, and attached with this is music. So both the questions is singing songs about the Prophet ﷺ, is this allowed? Is this something which is befitting? And also added with the music.
Music is completely forbidden in Islam, whether you like it or not. This is the consensus of scholars of Islam. The 4 schools of thought, they all make music forbidden. End of story. Now, going back to just chanting the name of the Prophet ﷺ, you have to look at the motive, and you have to look at the times you do this. Why are you doing this? People say because of our love to the Prophet ﷺ. The companions never did this. So why do you do it? Well, I tell you why do you do it. You do it first of all because you like music. But this is a substitute to music, because when you hear someone with a very nice voice and he is imitating a song with music instruments but with only vocals, so it reminds you of a certain type of music or songs or so on. And again, this person who's doing this, is he doing it because of enjoying himself, or this is his life and he orchestrates such songs, and he works in studios for 6 or 7 hours every day, and he might even get musical instruments to write a song and then remove the musical instruments and use his voice or vocals only to bring you this piece of art and piece of work. I would advise people to stay away from these songs as an everyday thing to hear, because at the end of the day, after 1 or 2 years, you would be fed up of these kind of lyrics and vocals, and you would like to listen to the real McCoy, to the real thing, with music and with drums and with guitars and with everything else that would maybe fill some of the emptiness in your soul.
Jazakallah khair for that clarification, Sheikh. Okay, Sister Muhammad's on the line from the United Arab Emirates. Sister, you're live and Ask Huda, your question.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have 2 questions, brothers. One question is yoga haram? Because I'm a working mother. Sometimes I feel I go for exercises and I find the breathing exercises they do, the stretching and all that helps relieve my stress. And it's a form of exercise. But I have a lot of friends who always say that it's haram. And I just want to clarify that.
Is it connected, Muhammad, with a religion, a cult? Is it connected to certain prayers you say, or the belief in the oneness of the universe and feeling?
No, they don't say these things. We just do the exercise, and we do the breathing, just the breathing, and I think they are careful because we're in a Muslim country. They don't add these other rituals, but there are some other classes they call Art of Living, which I also attended, and they have these sort of things, and I felt in my heart that it was not correct, because as the Prophet ﷺ said, whatever you feel comfortable with, do it. If you don't feel comfortable with it, don't do it. But the normal yoga that I go to there's no such thing like bowing to the east or doing things that are not Islamic. But again, I just want to be safe.
Okay.
That's why I want to ask. And my second question is, I want to do a course on Islamic in English. Could you give me a site or, I want to do it by correspondence.
Okay. Okay, Jazakallah khair. That's Sister Muhammad from the United Arab Emirates there. We have Dr. Muhammad with us from Ethiopia. I think you're the last call today, brother. Your question.
Hello?
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum. I have 2 questions.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to appreciate the program.
Jazakallah
Very
khair.
happy about what Huda is doing.
Jazakallah khair, brother.
Thank you very much. And my questions are the following. Number 1, regarding insurance, especially for cars. Nowadays, driving is getting very much dangerous in the cities, and many companies require insurance. And how is this in Islam? Is it possible to enter insurance relations?
Okay.
The second question is on Hajj. Some 10 years ago, I was in Hajj, and in an organized trip from Europe in the group we flew directly to Jeddah without observing any miqat, and we made our haram on the day of the beginning of the Hajj. And the organizing group said this is okay and there is no problem. But nowadays I hear that unless you make haram at the miqat location, that you have to make some kind of fidya and so on. And this is a long time ago, and what I'm going to, if the Hajj that haram wasn't proper in our case.
Understood.
What I'm going to do now.
Jazakallah khair. That's Dr. Muhammad there from Ethiopia. If we can touch on Sister Muhammad's question from the United Arab Emirates, and you went through this yoga as a form of exercise, nothing to do with the rituals that are reached with it.
Then I hardly recommend that you change the name. Just call it breathing exercises. Don't attach it to its origin, because the origin is not permissible in Islam. You have to try your best to just call it exercise.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. We can't attend any of the other questions, fortunately. We've run out of time, so Jazakallah khair for your answers today. All I can say is please hold on with the emails. We're having some technical difficulties, so don't send any more emails. I'll remind you when to do that. So until next time, I'll leave you with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.